Oh yeah! Cream of the crop! Devil Dog Gaming! Step into it!
Hello everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. It's been a couple days since I actually had a review on here, and this one I didn't really know about. It came out of nowhere. I kind of heard about it in the past, but I didn't really think it was real. So it's not going to be an epic review, but it's going to be one of my honest, non-biased reviews of Borderlands 2 PlayStation VR version. Is this actually a game, or is it another one of those experiences they charge money for? Another thing is I'm going to dive deep into this to let you people know if this is a good game or not, if it's actually a game, if it controls right, if it's one of those PSVR games that'll make you violently ill and sick. In the end, stay tuned to my review, my in-depth review of Borderlands 2 PlayStation VR, so you can make your own opinion if this game is worthy of you picking it up as a digital download only. That is one thing I don't like about it. It is only a digital download on the PlayStation Store. But nonetheless, here's my review of Borderlands 2 PSVR version. Everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. This time I'm reviewing Borderlands 2, the PSVR version. It was released on December 14th of 2018 for the PlayStation VR system and is a digital download only game. I pretty much always say this every time, but I just have to. I absolutely hate digital download games. Now, I appreciate and understand the fact that a lot of people nowadays don't have enough room for physical copies, but I myself like having physical copies for a case like if I want my buddy to play this game, now he has to buy it, or I have to take my whole system over to his house instead of just taking the damn game disc. I'm not a fan of digital download only games. I think they did that because they thought that maybe they would not be able to sell enough copies of this game to warrant making a physical actual release copy. Now, other than that, this game was developed by Gearbox and published by 2K Games and is a single-player first-person shooter. That's right, this version of the game has no co-op. Now, that is the first downfall to this title that a lot of people will be like, I don't want to even play it now because you can't have a Borderlands games without co-op. And while I do agree co-op is pretty much the majority of the fun factor that you have in the original two Borderlands games, just hear me out with this before you make your final opinion. Now, where you go into this game, it is a single-player first-person shooter where you play as one of four of the Vault Hunters that will return once again. Axton the Commando, Maya the Siren, Salvador the Gunzerker, and Zero the Assassin. Now, each player has a modified skill tree, since this is a PSVR version, that has some slight modifications with some different moves, with the inclusion of new upgrades to include moves for the new BAMF system, BAMF, which they're calling the Badass Mega Fun mode. It's bullet time. That's all it is you have a meter, and at certain times you can press the circle button if you're playing with the controller to go into a bullet time mode, as you see here, which doesn't last that long. That allows you to strafe, run around, dodge the enemies, and shoot them, and get critical hits a lot easier. Now, this game is pretty decent. It does have the full basic game world of Borderlands 2 in it, so there is no DLC content. Level or characters from any DLC are not in this. It does have a decent decent set of adjustable options to help you get through the game as well. And when you first fire it up, and at any time you can adjust them on the fly, including anything to help you if you're susceptible to motion sickness. You can change the sensitivity of when you move forward, looking around, your teleport and stuff like that. And it has a lot of stuff, even as a mode for color blindness, which I gratefully appreciate the amount of options they give you with this. So it does make it to where, like me, PSVR, after 5 minutes or so, I adapt to it, and it doesn't faze me one bit. That's why when I play it, I normally don't have the tunnel vision, as you see here, turned all the way on. I normally have it turned off completely, because the tunnel vision will help you to keep you from getting motion sickness. So, I mean, it does have a lot of decent options with it, to help you play the game, and multiple different control schemes. You can actually play with your normal DualShock controller, which I actually kind of prefer, or you can actually use the Move controllers. Now, also, the other mode of movement, other than free locomotion, as you see me doing, is you can also have a teleport ability, but I find it to be rather flawed, because in order for you to teleport forward, you got to look in the direction of where you want to teleport and press your button to teleport, and it's not that well done. I don't like the teleport system in this game. It's been done better in other PSVR games, but in this one, I think the locomotion is just a better option. And another downfall to this version is the game does not have PS Aim compatibility. So if you have one of those PS Aim controllers, it won't work with this, which I don't understand. Hopefully they'll have an update in the future that will allow you to use it for it. I don't know why. It seemed like something they should have. I mean, it's a first-person shooter in VR. Why not have it in it? It makes no sense to me. Now, as you're going through this game, it does also have vehicles in it as well. So much like a normal Borderlands 2 game, you do get the pilot vehicles, their guns, and move and drive around. And when you're driving in one direction, you can turn your head to actually look in another, which can be quite disorienting at first until you get the hang of it. Once again, it doesn't bother me, but I can see some people having some severe problems, especially with the vehicles and how fast they move. But, like I said, it's not really going to be a game breaker for you if you're actually playing this. If you have a PSVR, by now you should be kind of getting used to movement anyhow. Now, the other thing is, in order to aim, wherever you look is where you aim, which I actually kind of like how they do that. And like every PSVR game I played so far has that, to where the reticle is wherever you're looking. So if you want to get a headshot, you literally will look at the enemy's head and you can get a headshot. Now they'll duck and dive and roll around, and even though the AI is not that great, they're really kind of stupid. I've had them kind of wonk out and walk into walls and get stuck, but fortunately not that often. You can just go and you can hit your BAMF mode, your bullet time, slow down mode, strafe around them, blast them in the head, and do some pretty cool stuff. It's not bad, at all. I mean, the game has lots of guns, tons of big bosses you fight, and tons of loot galore that you collect. And it is about 20 hours long or so. So it is actually a full-fledged game. I mean, it is a modified version of Borderlands 2. So if you're thinking, hey man, I can't wait to pick up Borderlands 2 PSVR, it's going to be just like, normal Borderlands 2. No, it is not. This is a modified version of Borderlands. Please keep that in mind. It is still actually a pretty decent game. I like it. I think it's pretty fun. I can play it for long periods of time. But, if you're once again susceptible to getting sick or also queasy, remember to take breaks. They even tell you in this game, take multiple breaks throughout your adventure, and you can save at any time and go back to where you were at. So it's not really bad in terms of the way the game is. And for 20 hours long, it's actually a pretty decent long game. I mean, it has tons of side quests you can do along with your main objectives, similar to the original. The only problem I say with this game is it costs too much. They're charging $50 for this. Now, unlike other PSVR games or experiences of some of them out there, like Batman, Arkham, and stuff like that. This actually is a game. This is a full-length game, a full 20-hour game with cutscenes, characters you meet, constantly upgrading your characters you progress through, and it's not that bad. Now, overall, the pros of this game I got to talk about is it's got very good gunplay and loads of different guns, and Pandora is still a cool place to explore, and the overall game length is well done. It is really a long game, and for a VR game, that's actually nice to see. Now, as for the cons, the overall price is way too high. I think this should be a $29 game max. If it was $29, or if you just wait for it to go down in price, then I could say it's worth picking up. Of course, the big downfall is the game does not have co-op, and no offense to them, but I don't see why. I've played other VR games that allow you to play online with friends. There is no reason why they could not have had co-op in this game. It would have made it a hell of a lot funner, and it would have made it true to Borderlands. And if you made it co-op, then I might say the $50 price I could understand. But a single player, you should have paid this about $29. Another problem I've dealt with is, the ghost bodies, the disembodied hands. I've never been a fan of that in VR games, and I understand why they do it. It saves on memory, and it's hard to program it to look right and to have your character model, but you never get to see your character model because it's just this floating hands, which has always creeped me out when I play VR games, and they do that. Also, the slow movement of your character. As you progress, you can upgrade him to where, you can run faster, but he still always moves at a snail's pace, and I wish I could, really haul ass and run, truthfully run, and you can't really run. You do get a lot faster, like I said, later in the game, but, it's still, the movement to me is too damn slow, and I've had some texture issues. Up close, the textures look kind of crappy. Some of the character models look fantastic up close, but then you'll get to a wall or a building really close, and it just looks really blurry and crappy textured. Now, that's not a game-breaking problem, considering the game runs pretty smooth, and I've had tons of enemies on screen, and I've had a blast playing this game. But like I said, just keep in mind, if you are thinking of getting this for the PlayStation VR system, just please remember this is a single player experience only, and I think the price is too high. Right now, currently, unless you're a huge Borderlands fan and you love your PSVR to death and you're looking for a new game to play ASAP, I would say wait. Don't pick this game up yet. Wait until they lower the price. It's getting close to Christmas. I'm sure they're probably going to have a deal on this sooner or later. Wait until the price goes down to $29. I would say definitely pick it up when it's cheaper because, in the end, it is a fun game. You definitely get your money's worth, especially at, $30. And the only problems with it, I would have to say, is really the fact of the matter is that there's no damn co-op with it. That was a big disappointment with me playing it, but other than that, I've had a blast with this game. It's a pretty well done VR game. It doesn't have the best idea, of how to be a VR game, but in the end, compared to like Skyrim, I think they do a better job with this one in VR than Skyrim does. The only difference is this is a highly modified version compared to Skyrim, which was just the whole damn game of Skyrim. So, like I said, wait until this goes on sale, unless you're a huge fan and you're willing to pay $50 for it. I do not think currently this is worth the $50 price tag. This is Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I want to thank everyone who subscribes to my channel. I want to thank everyone who watches this video. Please hit that bell icon to stay updated when I release any new videos. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out.